or you've been evacuated from your house. Either way, it's been tough for the people living there. Last update from CAL FIRE, it's burned 1,200 acres, only 5% containment. Highway 74 is closed between Ribbonwood, Kalia Way, stranding many homeowners at the bottom of the hill. And authorities say that this route will remain closed until tomorrow at the earliest. I'm going to tell you something that may surprise you. I go pretty hard on Riverside County Animal Services, and it's deserved, but they also deserve this. Outstanding work last night. People were traumatized and terrified about the safety of their animals. Animal Services went up the mountain and started to evacuate animals, everything from horses to cats. It was a big job. It had to be done quickly, and they did it. Fair is fair. On a daily basis, Animal Services is a mess. Last night, Animal Services was outstanding, and I think that needed to be pointed out. Now, do you think this would happen here in Oklahoma? The superintendent of public instruction issued a memo in June informing superintendents across the state their districts are required to incorporate the Bible into lessons. While only a mandate, it was still controversial. And now a judge has stepped in to block a law in Arkansas that would have required public schools to display the 10 Commandments in their classrooms. The decision impacts 4 school districts that were gearing up to follow the law. The judge raised concerns about whether the law fits with the separation of church and state, which has sparked quite a bit of discussion about religion in public schools. Our contributors tonight, Stephanie Miner and Aaron Aldericio. Here we go. Steph, the Oklahoma superintendent, thinks there is a lack of understanding about the country's history and the influence the Bible has had since the birth of the U.S. What do you think of that?
Well, I think that we can look at the Bible as literature, and it is an important piece of that. I majored in English in college, and I actually read it cover to cover. But we cannot force people to adapt those views. And we can't trust maybe teachers, and I hate to say that, I used to be a teacher, but to not make it religious. We have to have separation between church and state. What do you think, Aaron?
I couldn't agree more, Stephanie. Also, it's an honor to be on with you. Big fan. But I grew up in Indiana in the 80s and went to school, and we didn't have the 10 Commandments on the wall. I don't know why Oklahoma in 2025 should have the 10 Commandments on the wall. This country was founded on religious freedom and fleeing religious persecution, and that's why people came to the United States or America. And it's just incredibly frustrating to me to hear that this is going on in this day and age.
All right, Aaron, how might this ruling influence public debate about the role of religion in public education?
I mean, it's just going to add fuel to the fire because everything in the world right now is so divided, at least in this country. And it's a Sarah Huckabee Sanders thing, which maybe I'm letting too much of my personal politics display here, but it's just crazy to me. And I think it shouldn't be allowed. And church and state separation is one of the most important foundations of our government and our country. So, yeah, I don't know. Stephanie, what do you think?
Well, I think that it's going to either cause people to rise up and push harder, or hopefully it will cause people to back off because they're seeing that the laws are not being passed. So we're going to see what happens.
Okay. What would you do if you come home from a few weeks away and you find your condo flooded again? It happened to Rick Darius, and we talked about it with him yesterday.
So I opened the door, and sure enough, there's water throughout, and it had receded by them because it had been sitting there for at least a week. And it states that in their water intrusion policy that the HOA covers interior damage from HOA infrastructure.
Okay, insurance company, and then you came out of pocket to make up the rest because despite the fact they have an obligation to do this and weren't, and you can't live in soot and mud and water, you're paying out of your own pocket to fix something that they should fix. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So yesterday I called Cindy at Mary Ellen Estates, who handles that account, to find out why they weren't doing anything. Well, I know one of the reasons. Cindy told me she was on vacation. After the segment aired last night, Henry wrote to us he is not a fan of Mary Ellen Hill and Associates, who run Saddle Rock Estates. This company is so corrupt, and HOAs that sign contracts with them are in dire straits. It's a ripoff. She always avoids everything. That was a little harsh. So we checked online to see if there were any reviews of Mary Ellen and Associates. On Yelp, they have 61 reviews, and overall, they are ranked a 2. There were 14 5-star, 1 4-star, 1 2-star, and 45 1-star reviews. That's not great, and it gets worse on Zillow and Redfin. 1 review on each site, both with 1 star. Here's the deal. No matter the reviews, if a water main breaks and floods one of your client's home and he has a document saying you're responsible for the repairs, you should repair the property. Maybe if they stepped up and did the right thing, they'd get fewer 1-star reviews. Okay, now a story that Mary Strong was upset about and working on all day. It involved an animal, a coyote, that was hit by a car. Taken to an animal hospital, the doctor saved its life, and then suddenly the animal was snatched away. Mary joins us. So, Mary, this is a troubling story that ends up good, but let's start with the troubling part about the coyote.
Well, I first discovered last night on Nextdoor that this story took a terrible turn. So what happened to begin with, the coyote was hit by a car in Palm Springs on Wednesday. A Good Samaritan stopped, saw the injured animal, brought it to El Paseo Animal Hospital, and Dr. David Jeffrey agreed to perform surgery on the dog. It had a severely broken leg, so he amputated the leg, performed the surgery on a Wednesday night. Monday, the Fish and Wildlife roll in. Unmarked car. He's wearing a police outfit, a police uniform. He didn't identify himself. The veterinarian asked for his supervisor's card, wouldn't provide it. So basically, they really didn't know who was coming in to take this animal and why. The animal was not in a cage. He was in an office recovering. She's very gentle. They named her Athena. And I was sick to my stomach when I heard that she was confiscated by Fish and Wildlife, taken in a cage, put in the back of a pickup truck in the heat, refused to take the pain meds. I was thinking, how is this dog going to get the post-operative care that she needs? And everybody on Nextdoor was just freaking out, essentially. So this morning I started making phone calls. Why is this happening? I went down to Fish and Wildlife here locally, and they said this is not protocol at all. They've never heard of this happening. And I found out that there are actually California regulatory codes that prevent this from happening. The veterinarian has 10 days in order to notify Fish and Wildlife that they have a wild animal, and they can have the animal for up to 2 weeks under their care. So this coyote, Athena, was only there for 4 days, and they come in and confiscate the animal. So we put some pressure on today. Dr. Jeffrey contacted the wildlife facility in Lucerne Valley. It's called the Magic Jungle Wildlife Preserve. Kelly Younger, she's wonderful. I got on the phone with her. We put a little pressure on Fish and Wildlife today. We sent some emails to the top, and they have now agreed to release her to the wildlife facility.
So why would someone authorize this?
On the down low,
Okay.
I'm hearing.
Well, there's nobody watching anyway, so go ahead. Just you and me talking.
I'm hearing that it was a complaint.
What do you mean a complaint?
So someone complained that the veterinarian had a wild animal in its care.
Which it's allowed to do.
Which it's allowed to do by law.
Mm-hmm.
And they took action. They took action because they got a complaint, not because they were following the law. Once the California regulatory codes were presented to them, they realized that the veterinarian does in fact have authority.
So the people in charge making the decisions didn't even know the codes. Is that fair to say?
I can't speculate that they don't know the codes.
Well, you just did.
I can maybe speculate that they weren't aware that we knew the codes. So
now what we're saying is they knew the codes, but they didn't think anybody else did, so they decided to do whatever they wanted. And then when they realized somebody else knew the codes,
yes,
they decided they better correct it. And if you had not known the codes, then the coyote may not be alive right now.
Exactly. But the work is not done. We still need to make sure that Athena is in an appropriate medical facility, and she indeed gets to where she's going, and that will be my day tomorrow.
And I've got a feeling they're not going to make another mistake over there.
I sincerely hope not.
I got a feeling now it's all going to go the way it's supposed to go.
I hope it will. And thank you for shedding light on this. I appreciate
Thank you for coming out as always.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And for the complete almost 10-minute interview we did with Mary, visit NBCPalmSprings.com after the show. You know why you should do that? It's what a good neighbor would do. Nadia in Indio looking for fellow Valley ball lovers. She's looking to get a group together to meet at the Palm Desert Civic Center maybe once a week, or a court somewhere in Indio or La Quinta. Indian Wells, Jenny is looking to donate a used mattress. Anyone know of an agency or a church that will take one Cambria? And Cathedral Cove is looking for a sewing machine. She's looking for a cheap machine that she can learn on. Chris in Palm Desert needs some recommendations for where to go for a toddler haircut for a boy.
If you like something, we want to hear about it. If you don't like something, we want to hear about it. Find Fred on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fred Roggin. You can also email thedesertdean@gmail.com. Dazzle us, if you dare.
All right, do you miss Mom?
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating, and we couldn't agree more.
All right, were you close to your mom? You miss her? If so, this may be just what you're looking for. Seems there's an ice cream flavor made from breast milk that's now available all across the country. It's from a company called Oddfellows. They teamed up with a brand called Frida to create this unique treat. The ice cream is designed to celebrate motherhood. It even has a portion of the proceeds going to mental health initiatives. Yeah, it's raising some eyebrows, sparking conversation about food and parenting. Stephanie, breast milk ice cream. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Would you try it?
Thumbs down. But to be fair, it doesn't actually have breast milk in it. It's breast milk flavored ice cream that you can get for only $12.99 a pint. Disgusting, in my opinion.
Aaron?
Well, I mean, I would maybe try a sample if I was at the shop, just because I like to try outrageous flavors of things, but I don't see what the benefit of it really is. Yet at the same time, again, it doesn't have real human breast milk in it. So I'm like, no harm, no foul, just not for me.
When you hear about it, do you think, now that sounds refreshing? Or do you think, oh, that sounds creepy, Aaron?
I would say it, I don't know if creepy is the right word, but it definitely sounds unappealing to me. Again, I don't want to yuck anyone else's yum. or any Kardashian if they think there's health benefits to this, but not for me.
Steph?
Well, I want to make sure that everyone understands. I don't think breast milk itself is disgusting because it's for babies and they need it. But as an adult, I do not want to taste that ice cream at all.
I know bodybuilders, people that work out and stuff, they say it's very good for them. They actually do try to consume it, yeah, because they think it actually is very nourishing as they continue to put on weight and work out. Do you think more companies should focus on health initiatives like this, Stephanie?
I think that health initiatives are one thing. This is not really, I don't think it's really a health initiative. I think it's kind of shocking because I don't know how healthy this ice cream is. But, you know, we've seen the world of potato chips where there's pickle potato chips and nacho potato chips and whatever else. So I guess we're going that way with ice cream. I don't see a problem with it.
Aaron?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if you've ever been to a Salt and Straw or a Jenny's. Like, they do a Kraft mac and cheese flavor. They do a pig's blood flavor at Halloween. So breast milk, not that far of a stretch, I suppose.
Okay. Viewer Linda was shopping in the Sam's Club in Cathedral City when she saw something strange from our See It, Shoot It, Send It department. She said, I saw this baby bat. It couldn't move a bit, but not much. It was so small I was afraid someone would run over it. I contacted a worker there who contacted her team leader. In the meantime, we put boxes over it to hopefully keep it calm, and they taped off the area. We always talk about being a good neighbor, and Linda was a good neighbor to that baby bat. And if it could talk, I'm sure it would say thank you. So the Rolling Stones once rehearsed in this amazing mid-century building.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
Babies are experts at paying attention to only what is genuinely fascinating, and we couldn't agree more.
Riddle me this. What is so fragile that saying its name breaks it?
What is so fragile by saying its name breaks it? All right, I don't have this one tonight. One of Palm Springs' most enduring landmarks is a postmodern mid-century marvel that has the distinction of having been owned by two different sports franchises, team owners, and it once hosted rehearsals for the world's greatest rock and roll band. NBC Palm Springs historian Steve Summerall explains in this edition of Desert in a Minute.
The Ocotillo Lodge opened as a hotel in 1957. It was the first building in Palm Springs to be built by the Alexander Construction Company and was designed by famed architect William Kreisel. All of the rooms at the Ocotillo Lodge were one bedroom, one bath, living room kitchenettes, and were all designed using the same architectural techniques, landscaping materials, and color palettes used in the homes built in the Twin Palms community behind the hotel. The Alexanders' plan was to use the hotel as a showplace for potential home buyers. Legendary singing cowboy and California Angels owner Gene Autry would buy the property in 1963. Then, in 1968, the hotel was purchased by Jerry Buss, who still owned the property when he acquired the Lakers in 1979. Legend has it that sometime during the early 1970s, this hotel was rocked by the Rolling Stones, who were caught rehearsing here between their San Diego and Los Angeles tour dates. The Ocotillo Lodge still serves the Palm Springs community, but it caters to people who are interested in staying for a more definite period of time. These rooms are now condominiums. For Desert in a Minute, this is NBC Palm Springs historian Steve Sumrall.
And your daily dose of cuteness when we return.
They say dogs are a man's best friend, but at NBC Palm Springs, we're a dog's best choice for news. Apologies to our competitors, but even your dogs know who leads the pack in news.
Night after night, discover the unique stories that set our valley apart. Together, we're going to find inspiration and foster connections that strengthen the fabric of our community.
The Roggin Report was presented by the Living Desert Zoo and Gardens.
not like everything we do,
Hey, we might not like everything you do.
we can still be friends.
Find Fred on Facebook and Instagram at Fred Roggin or email thedesertdean@gmail.com.
What is so fragile that saying its name breaks it? Silence.
Okay. Well, our off-season shout-out is a big hit, at least with Desert Hand Car Wash Big Bob. The owner wrote us to thank us for the shout-out. What a crazy surprise to see you highlight Desert Hand Car Wash as your first off-season business staying open to serve locals. Correct? Not easy or profitable, but the right thing to do. Bob went on to say that he was flattered. We hope this next business feels the same way. Where do you go if you want a good nosh? Well, if you're in the Valley, Sherman's Deli's the top of your list. So here is your off-season shout-out. Sherman's, a New York-style family deli and bakery that serves locals after the tourists head home. The portion sizes are amazing, the service is always great, and the food reminds you of home, especially if you had a Jewish mom like me. So thanks Sherman's for the home-cooked meals and mile-high off-season desserts. Okay, should we do some comments? About our story of people forming emotional, sometimes romantic bonds with AI. Charles wrote, most of us realize all forms of AI are occurring at present, and it will continue to grow faster and faster. However, I'm more concerned about human intelligence, which is required now and will continue to be in the future more than ever. Marcus is all for AI-human relationships. They don't argue with you, they don't spend your money, no battle for the temperature in the house, and they don't steal your French fries. About our Rent-A-Grandma story, Craig is all in. He takes his mom with him to events in the LGBTQ community, and people love meeting her. There are surely times that a mom or a grandma is needed or wanted for a person that doesn't have their own mom or grandma any longer. We should do that here more in the U.S. And our contributors not only contribute, they write. We got this from Sue Abramowitz. I'll be Rent-A-Grandma. I love this idea. So Sue and Craig's moms are set to do grandma stuff with anyone who needs a little extra love. Okay, you know, I check comments during the show, and a couple I received tonight during the program. Where is the one on breast milk? Okay, Ann wrote, breast milk ice cream? I don't miss mom that much. I like that. And Debbie, I'm in awe at your dedication to bring light to the most important issues that our valley faces every day. The segment about the coyote, so heartwarming tonight. All your in-depth reporting is what we have needed for a very long time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for writing. Thank all of you for being a part of the program. Now, here's the deal. You're going to go off and do what you do tonight. Not us, because we never sleep. NBC Palm Springs does it for you 24/7. Go to the website, click on the show page. There is the Roggin Report show page. Content from tonight and past shows as well up there. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening. Wheel of Fortune is next.